Tesha Miller has been found guilty. Tesha Miller's mother would have spoken after he was found guilty. Bert Samuels is strident, is adamant. He has been very vocal that there was unfair treatment meted out to his client during the proceedings, and he will be filing an appeal forthwith. Fritz Bailey has said more charges are possibly going to be laid against Tesha Miller. Bert Samuels, the lead attorney for a convicted, reputed leader of the notorious Klansman gang, Tesha Miller, has served notice that he will be appealing Miller's murder conviction, which was handed down by a 7-member jury in the Home Circuit Court on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. I am now quoting one Bert Samuels. "We will be seeking to have a full acquittal for Mr. Tesha Miller," Samuels told members of the media outside the courthouse on Tuesday afternoon. In addition to Mr. Samuels, Miller was represented by Bianca Samuels, which is Bert's daughter, Isaac Buchanan, and Ramon Clayton. This is now Bert Samuels speaking to reporters.
We'll be seeking to have a full acquittal for Mr. Tesha Miller. We know that he has had to sue a certain news media because of the fact that they published him to be the leader of a gang, and that has disturbed and put out there is very, very hard. That lawsuit is on its way, and we're going to make sure that it comes up before they appeal. But in all, I've been here at Mr. Miller before. He has been convicted, and I took it to the Court of Appeal, and we got justice. I think it's across King Street that justice will come in this matter.
Bert said one of the things that would have colored the jury's mind is the fact that Media House would have published not so long ago that Miller is a Don. He is making reference to TVJ, as Miller would have filed a lawsuit against TVJ for defamation of character, calling him a Don. He is suggesting that that publication by TVJ in referencing his client as a Don would have colored the minds of Jamaicans prior to the trial, and as such places client as a disadvantage because of what TVJ would have said. He also said that he has been there before with Miller, as Miller would have been found guilty before and he would have had justice in the Court of Appeal. He's saying that he will have justice again. He also argues that Miller was not able to be tried in front of a jury of his choice, as he believes an error was made in law at the jury selection stage of the trial. He's also contending that trial judge Justice Georgiana Fraser was also the trial judge in the case where the prosecution's main witness was found guilty and sentenced for murder. Bert Samuels said this.
The law is clear on that matter, that a person who is charged for accessory before the fact is sentenced in the same way as the principal. And the law is clear that persons who are charged for murder, they have 4 challenges. Mr. Miller was denied 2 of, in my humble opinion, 2 of his 4 challenges, and that is an issue which any Court of Appeal, if they agree with me, will definitely at least ask for a retrial.
Samuels also indicated that they have identified already several grounds on which to mount an appeal.
During the trial, we had a lawyer specially assigned to appeal, an expert, and that person drafted 18 grounds of appeal.
And that's during the trial, just during the trial?
Just during the trial. And, you know, when we get the notes of evidence and we peer into it, very often things come up that you didn't really see here when you're in the trial. Yeah, there's some really, in our view, mishaps in this trial, which is unfortunate.
Mr. Samuels says his client has confidence in his legal defense team and is looking forward to the filing of the appeal. The attorney also sought to outline the 2 strongest grounds on which Miller's legal team could be successful.
When we sought to make our 3rd challenge, you know, in every trial, by jury, you have challenges. We sought to exercise our 3rd trial when we thought that we had 4 challenges in our, and the judge stopped us, saying that we only have 2. Well, we showed the learned judge that, listen, he's been tried as an accessory before the fact, and his punishment is the same as the principal, same as the person who should have killed this gentleman. And the judge did not agree with us, but we think we're on solid ground, that the punishment for the principal is the same as the accessory before the fact, and therefore he was denied his challenge. Now, you can imagine before a Court of Appeal, if they agree with us, that he ought to have been allowed to challenge 4 and not 2. That's a retrial ground immediately.
Tesha Miller's mother was also at court, and she would have said that he was dealt with unfairly. Tesha Miller's mother bemoans conviction as she sang a hymn about Jesus while slowly making her way down the stairs of the Supreme Court building on Tuesday. Sharon James said she was somewhat surprised when her son was convicted of accessory before and after the fact to the 2008 murder of the then chairman of the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, Douglas Chambers. Miller will face a maximum sentence of life imprisonment when he returns to court for sentencing on the 9th of January 2020. A moment before James's exit, she watched as Miller, clad in a white and blue floral shirt, white pants, and a tan shoes, was escorted by members of the police force back to the court's holding area. Speaking with the Gleaner moments after the verdict was handed down, James described the prosecution of her son as unfairly done. That is one and that is it, but I bless God because I have him. James declined to respond to questions about whether her son was being targeted by law enforcement. However, Bert Samuel did not mince words. Every time Mr. Miller is on bail, he has to virtually go into hiding because it is either one thing or the other. The last time I defended him, it was for an offense of $100. That is less than a traffic fine. So he has been hounded and he has had to be hiding. Not because he is guilty, but when he shows himself up, there are charges laid against him, the attorney asserted. As I said, his mother said her son has been treated unfairly. I'm going to give you some more context on that. Having lost 3 kids to violence, Tesha's mom is happy to still have him. This was the mother speaking.
I know it's not done fairly, but I bless God because I have him. It can't be good. It can't be. Because knowing that life is like this.
It was not clear what James meant by because I have him. However, she has lost at least 3 children to gang violence, and the police have linked their killings to a bitter internal feud for control of the Klansman gang. On the 8th of December 2011, James's 23-year-old daughter, Renace James, a nurse, was shot while traveling in a taxi near De La Vega City in the old capital. The police reported that James was traveling in a taxi when gunmen drove up in a white motor vehicle and opened fire, hitting her and the driver. She succumbed to her injuries the following morning in hospital. So less than 2 weeks later, the feared Navardo Hodges, a top lieutenant and reported hitman in the gang, who it was believed killed James, was beheaded after he was shot in the forehead. His body was left near the Spanish Town bypass, while his head was left at the nearby Sagicor complex. James was to suffer a double tragedy in 2015, while the police were also forced to quell rumors that she herself had been shot and killed as the inter-gang war raged on. On the 6th of January 2015, Tesha's 33-year-old brother, Craig Miller, O.C. Guizardo, was shot and killed along with 17-year-old Oral Wright on Marchpen Road in Spanish Town. According to reports, sometime after 9 p.m., Miller and Wright were among a group of men at a house on Marchpen Road when armed men forced their way in and opened fire, hitting them. Miller and Wright were pronounced dead on the scene, while another man who was shot and injured was taken to hospital. And on April 27, 2015, Tesha's brother, known as Kishan Miller, O.C. Gizmo, was shot and killed by unknown assailants at a tire shop shortly after 8 a.m. in the vicinity of Marchpen Road and the Spanish Town bypass. So shortly after Kishan was killed, the St. Catherine North police moved to quell rumors that James and another of her daughters had been killed. While in 2017, James and another of her sons, Harden Miller, took the government to court over the police seizure of 2 motor vehicles in March of 2016. In the suit filed against the Attorney General, the two were seeking the return of their 2006 Tacoma and their 2007 Honda Accord motor car. James was also seeking damages for trespass on her premises, and the two claimants also sought constitutional and vindicatory damages. Additionally, they were claiming more than $500,000 and interest in special damages for a loss of use of the motor vehicles, and the two were represented by attorney at law Bert Samuels. The police are also suggesting that they are happy in this latest conviction. Police High Command breathing sigh of relief following Tesha Miller's conviction. So Deputy Commissioner in charge of crime, Fritz Bailey, has admitted that law enforcement officials are breathing a collective sigh of relief. DCP Bailey had this to say.
Yes, it's a sense of relief and accomplishment for us as law enforcement officers, which tells us that no one is above the law. And if we continue to be focused in terms of our strategy, we will get even greater results than this one.
Bailey says despite having only one witness for the trial, they were confident of a conviction.
We had more than one witness, yes, but one turned up on the day, so to speak. And we are confident that the witness was very solid. We knew based on the interaction by the investigators with the witness, we knew that he was very solid.
The senior police officer described the Miller conviction as a big win for law enforcement in Jamaica.
I think the entire Jamaica is aware of who the subject is and his influence, especially in St. Catherine North and across the island. And I think the fact that, he has been convicted, it's significant. It's really significant.
But you don't get bigger than Tesha Miller, do you?
For now.
For now?
For now.
Yes.
So there are many in the pipeline.
He also lauded the consistency and hard work of the investigators, while seeking to assure the public that the police are continuing efforts to hone their investigative capabilities. In the meantime, DCP Bailey says he's hopeful of more big wins for law enforcement in the courts.
You said this was not a gang investigation, but what do you anticipate? What sort of effect do you anticipate this might have on the Klansman gang?
Well, remember that both leaders, so to speak, are actually in custody and one is convicted, and I have no doubt in my mind that the other cases that we have investigated is even stronger than this one. I have all confidence in that one, and I think it's going to impact, and I think we're going to get more cooperative with law enforcement and the system.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.